What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Snow Blunt Talk. Now, if you've been following my channel as of recent, you can see that I've come to this sort of realization about the world, and I'm going to use the 5%er theory, the 5%er doctrine to put this across, because it's basically, I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm a 5%er out here, but I'm saying I agree with the idea that 85% of people are like unconscious. The NPCs, they're not awakened, they're not enlightened, they just out here going along with the breeze, believing the news and eating Doritos and watching Netflix. You know what the NPCs do, you know what I'm saying? If you an NPC, hey, welcome, I'm Morpheus to you now. Keep watching. But then that leaves 15% of the people that like are aware of this fact that most people are unconscious. 15% of people that know the truth, right? Now, why I put that in quotations is because 10% of this 15% is the elites, right? They're the people who know that most people are unenlightened. So being enlightened, they use that power over the NPCs to control them, right? These are the gatekeepers, the puppet masters, whatever the fuck the conspiracy motherfuckers like to say. That's them. They know that most people are unconscious. They know that most of what they're feeding y'all is bullshit, but they feed it to you because it's bullshit, and you're going to eat it right up, and they're going to get material gains from it. And that's why I say they know the truth, because anybody who knows the truth knows that material gains don't mean a damn thing. And that's where we get to the other 5%, the remaining 5%. This is how the 5%ers identify. That's why they identify themselves as such, because they're the chosen ones, the enlightened people, you know what I'm saying? The people who they can feel the truth and break free from the matrix, and nobody has to like guide them. Nobody has to show them. Like they find the truth, and they are the truth, and they spread the truth, right? We spread the truth to awaken the majority of people, which is basically what I'm doing. That's why I agree with the 5%er doctrine. This is not a 5%er video, but that's why I agree with that doctrine, because it's like, bro, it's a small amount of people that are controlling the world and have the esoteric knowledge necessary to do it. And then there's like the rest of us who do have this knowledge, but we just regular people, and we can actually talk to, you know, most of the people who are not awake. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So knowing this, right? Knowing this, I've been reading scripture recently. You know what I'm saying? At first, I was reading some of the New Testament. Now I'm reading the Quran. And in the Quran especially, it emphasizes the importance of like this specific doctrine, this specific scripture. Because a lot of it is similar, you know, with the tenets to the Torah and the Bible. And then God is emphasizing in the Quran that this scripture is what was handed down to Moses, to Jesus. This was consistently handed down to humanity, which has always consisted of mostly NPCs. This scripture was handed down to humanity, and some people know that it's the truth and refuse to follow it, and that's how most people are going to be. But you're going to be here, and you're going to send people this truth, and you're going to enlighten people to the truth. And at its core, the reason why I say this is because at its core, a lot of us conscious people would agree with the Bible, would agree with the Quran. These religions emphasize that God, i.e. the divine, is all-knowing, all-powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes, God is all-knowing and all-powerful. Like, the reason why, for a time, I found it therapeutic to start praying is because, like, the idea of talking to God, you can't really, like, hide anything, right? Because God sees everything. So you're going to reach in and, you know, see everything. If you see what I'm saying with you know what I'm saying? If you see what I'm saying. Now, the reason why a lot of us conscious people, the mystics, we're like the 5%. The reason why a lot of us, we kind of use everything with this kind of mystical bend, like everything is consciousness and we on it, is because, and this is getting to the crux of the video, most of the 85, okay, so when it comes to that scripture, that doctrine, these rules for the universe, love each other, don't covet another's possessions, you know the golden rules to living in life. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. Us 5%ers, look at me, I said I wasn't a 5%er at the beginning of the video. Now I'm calling myself, I'm doing it for the metaphor, or maybe I am a goddamn 5%er, fuck it. But yeah, I'm gonna be, well, I can't be scissor, I'm gonna be Kizza, but that don't even sound. Whatever, bro. Back to the Bible and the Quran and all these religious scriptures that like make God or like a person like a sky daddy and make him like want to be a person who says, okay, I love you and I have mercy for you, but if you don't follow the scripture, you will go to hell and burn for eternity, and you would, is because most people, if they didn't have that threat of going to hell, being eternally damned, they wouldn't follow the scripture. They wouldn't. That's why religion can be a beautiful thing, because it's taking unconscious people, and although it's manipulating them, it's getting them to finally live their lives in a more conscious way. You know what I'm saying? It's getting people to finally love each other, to not want another's possession. Because for a lot of folks, now look, not all church-going folks actually become good, decent people because they fear going to hell. A lot of people, they fear going to hell, but they still don't change. So all they do is just throw out their religion at you. They're like, well, I'm a Christian, I do this. Like, these are the people, okay. The religious people who follow scripture, and you know, they're aware that the church can be corrupt and it's not always the best place to practice your faith. Those are the, you know, part of the unconscious that are awakened through religion. You know, if they build a personal relationship with God and that's why they start living in a more conscious way, more power to them. But these people, that group of people does tend to get a little preachy at times and will start throwing things at you, and so both groups of people will. But the other group of people among the unconscious who are given religion, they fear going to hell, and they have all this fear, but they're still shitty people. These are the people that go to church a lot. These are the people that always they always gotta go to church, always gotta show you a cross, always gotta prove to you, show you that they Christian. Because really in their hearts, they are not doing anything that's positive for humanity. They're judgmental, you know what I'm saying? They're jealous, they try and get what other people have. You know, a lot of people are just fucked up, and they use the idea that they fear God at the end of the day to make it feel like they got something over you. Those are shitty people. And a lot of people will throw religion at you because it's provided them a state of consciousness, but at the cost of them having the fear of going to hell. And people like myself are here to say that, hey, bruh, look, I'm not saying you could do whatever the fuck you want to do. Because at the end of the day, I do agree with the scriptures when they emphasize a life of, you know, not living above your means. You know what I'm saying? Charity, giving to people, all these things that result in love. Because us awakened people, we know that all the fruits of the material world don't mean shit, bro. Niggas gonna make more money to be more miserable, bro. And you know what the funny thing is? We're seeing it play out in real time. I feel like back in the ancient times, a lot of the unenlightened people were the same people like that were like worshiping like calves and worshiping random stuff. This manifests in stuff like superstition today. We worship ourselves, our images on social media. Most of the unconscious people are going to worship something other than a spirit or a god. And then I feel like the 10%, the elites, use spiritual knowledge to like sell that pagan shit to the unawakened people. So now all these unconscious people are using black men. This is why the world seems so corrupt in those scriptures where God came down to just say, look, this is how you're supposed to live. Because think about it. We seeing NPCs making society crumble in real time. We seeing niggas just going along with the program. Oh, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna eat. Niggas are killing themselves, like not just literally, but you know what I'm saying? Just fucking, I don't like nicotine and fast food. Motherfuckers they're killing themselves, right? And then people are throwing their emotions all out of whack. If it's not with drugs or medications, it's with goddamn fucking doing a bunch of spiritual voodoo shit. Niggas be trying to pray to the Baphomet and shit. So it's like, I came to the realization not too like long ago that a lot of the things the Bible said and the scriptures say you shouldn't do, you don't have to have that fear of going to hell to realize that these things will not make you feel good. You want to go out and be a whore? I'm talking to men and women, everybody. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying if you got community dick or the pussy got mileage and you want to have it like that and you go and do that, hey, bro, you don't need God to tell you that at the end of fucking hella people, you're not going to feel the best. You're not going to feel A1. You're not going to feel all together. You don't need a God to tell you that, bro. If you take a person's life, bro. See, this is where I feel like religion was more heavily, indoctrinated, because motherfuckers would push the limit. You know what I'm saying? It would be some foot in the door type shit. Motherfuckers always push the limit. They'd be like, okay, if you could turn off your emotions while lying to somebody, you could turn off your emotions while killing somebody. And that's why the scripture was invented, because, bro, if you lie to somebody and you really care about them, you're going to be like, damn, I feel bad for lying to that person. But that's the problem. Empaths and shit, they're also part of this 5%. All the highly sensitive niggas, they're part of the 5%. Because some of us will naturally feel bad for doing shit like that. Because we know it's like, damn, keeping people away from the truth, that's like keeping myself away from the truth. That's keeping me away from living in my truth. Taking someone's life is like, me taking someone's life is like my life getting taken. You know what I'm saying? Because if I could destroy someone else's life, that means I could destroy my... You see how logically, if you're a person who has your heart open and your soul open to the world, how these things just make sense? But for the NPCs, the unconscious people, they had to be given a fear of a sky daddy who's going to send them to eternal damnation and hell so they could finally act right and treat people right and be decent in the world. You ever notice how, like, for example, after all these religions got indoctrinated into the world, got practiced in the world, a lot of arts and everything and poetry started flourishing because people started to be in a higher state of consciousness. This is not that hard to grasp. It's just that the unconscious people who are not truly unconscious, they're not incapable of meditating. They're not incapable of having an intuition. It's just they're not going to get to that point. But what does control them is those animalistic emotions, fear, desire. That's why sex is the main thing that sells. And that's why fear, which is heavily pushed in religion, is also pushed in scripture. Not pushed in scripture, but repetition is pushed in scripture. Because reading the Quran, bro, at the end of every verse is always something like, and God he knows everything. He's all knowing, he's merciful, and I know people be memorizing it orally. So religions, they systematically indoctrinate you with this idea of a God, and it's dualistic because part of it helps humanity do better. Part of it helps people actually help people, because at the end of the day, it matters what you do, right? And religious people who aren't really genuine with their intention, they just do good things just to be doing them because they think God's going to be happy. I mean, according to your religion, God sees your intentions. So if you're just doing something to look like a good person, I mean, at least you're doing good things. At least religion has people doing good things. But I'm saying that fear of being sent to hell is what's making people do that. And that not all of this religious stuff is the answer, because I think those scriptures were made to make people conscious, but also fearful and submissive to some higher authority, right? So it's a dualistic, man. Like everything in this world it's a double-edged sword. The only real thing you could do for yourself to break out of, okay, at this point I'm living a good life, but also I'm scared of eternal damnation. The only thing you could do really is just look for the answers for yourself, meditate, go within, because that pure love that you find for yourself, that'll break you free from the matrix wholeheartedly. And you won't need to be like the unconscious who need a fear of going to hell to make them act right for a change. And hopefully you don't turn into the elites who use conscious knowledge to manipulate people and do spells and shit, because that's just as bad. Like, nigga, all those people who are religious and they still jealous and they still envious and they ingenuine, they should know that God see their heart. And all the people, all the elites that steal energy from people to get material gain, they should know that material gain, if you have all this esoteric knowledge, you know that gains in this physical realm mean nothing. So join us enlightened ones. We don't ask for nothing. Let's make a change, y'all. Let's stop believing in fear, and let's really elevate the vibration, bro. Let's really elevate the consciousness, because that's the only option we have left. Niggas ain't gonna change unless they afraid or some pussy's on the line. It's either fear or desire that's gonna change people, bro. But over here, we moving out of love. The great will of love. Holla.